to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers?
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top-quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
He's the most interesting man in sports radio.
Well, should I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm not making as much money as Skip Bayless?
In his mind, anyway. The Homer Hour, with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
When you say they gave it away, what's at the top of your list?
Get them off the field on third down.
The Homer Hour, with Homer. Weekdays from 5 to 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The biggest sports stories of the week.
I liked an Instagram post this week that I didn't mean to and unliked it pretty quickly. No rump shaking. Did you say that off the air, Kyle? You gotta say that on the air. It was not rump shaking. It was not anything inappropriate. Jason, do you ever unintentionally like a rump shaking tweet?
He's the married man. Don't answer.
And then have to unlike it?
I have not yet.
Unique and compelling analysis and opinions when it comes to your favorite teams.
I understand the Packers' vision, and it was similar to the way Ted Thompson was with the drafting of Aaron Rodgers. But regardless of how Jordan Love's career turns out, in my heart of hearts, I believe that he cost the Packers at least one, if not two, Super Bowl appearances based on how he handled the 2020 draft.
This is Sunday Karma, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Here's GKB founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Got no Kyle today. Look at that. Max in for Kyle. And I have a huge question that I was going to ask Kyle that I think I'm going to ask you, Max. I don't know what your answer to it's going to be. Have you had Chizza?
Chizza?
Yeah.
No, I've never even heard of it.
I had not heard of Chizza either until yesterday. I was watching something. It's probably a Premier League game. I think I was watching some proper football yesterday. And there was a commercial for Chizza from KFC. Any idea what this is now?
Yeah, well, now I'm assuming some sort of chicken pizza, I'm assuming.
That is what I'm assuming it is also. So it was fascinating. I thought this is usually something I didn't think would sneak past me, and I had no idea. Like, I guess, what's your initial instinct? Like, is it just pizza with chicken on it? Because the whole premise of the commercial was it's not pizza, it's Chizza.
Right. So it's like the dough, like fried chicken, and it's like a pizza of cheese and sauce on top of fried chicken. Is that what we're doing here?
Wait.
But that's almost like a...
Okay, so wait, you're saying no dough?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, but I'm saying if you were designing this Chizza, so you'd have...
If I was KFC...
Okay, and you're making Chizza.
And somebody come to me, we need to make a chicken pizza.
Yeah.
My idea is just replace the dough. I don't know if you can make like a sort of like a sliced kind of like fried chicken slice, and then just layer it with tomato sauce, cheese, and whatever toppings you want to put on it.
Okay, so you're saying, I was picturing that it would have the dough. So you're saying the chicken would be the dough, then it has the cheese and the sauce on top of it.
I could be wrong, but I think they've done something like this before with like a sandwich, but the bread was replaced with like chicken patties. It was like
I do remember that.
Yeah, so I think that's sort of what where my mind went. But I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
800-990 ESPN. It is 800-990-3776. Has anyone had Chizza? Just trying to see what this is here. So it says 20 hours ago this was unveiled, the global sensation in the U.S. So maybe maybe I didn't miss this. It looks like pizza though with chicken. I don't know what it looks like. KFC has officially introduced the Chizza to its United States menu, a unique blend of fried chicken and pizza that has already seen success internationally. This culinary innovation combines two of America's most beloved foods, offering a distinct taste experience, blah, blah, blah. Comprises two 100% white meat, extra crispy fried chicken fillets, generously topped with marinara sauce, melted mozzarella cheese, and crispy pepperoni slices. This sounds like kind of what you were trying to describe, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at a picture of it right now. It's almost exactly what I thought it was. It's literally just a pizza where the dough is fried chicken.
Originating from a creative pursuit to blend different food cultures, the Chizza has been a hit in Korea, Taiwan, India, Thailand, Germany, Spain, and Mexico before making its debut in the United States. In KFC's move to try to diversify its menu. I'm looking at it and I don't. Oh, I guess now I do understand. So you're picking up. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, I think so. I'm just trying to think about how the tastes combine. Chizza? 800-990 ESPN. Have you had it? Are you going to have it? Are you in for Chizza? See, it's not this is by no means any kind of advertising relationship here. It is KFC Chizza. It is called, and here's the slogan inside the box. All chicken, no crust. You can also text us at that same number, 800-990 ESPN. It is 800-990-3776. That is your talk and text line.
I don't want to be mean to KFC, but isn't that sort of just like a chicken parm kind of? Like it's just sort of chicken topped with tomato sauce and a little bit of cheese. Like it's not, I mean, I guess it's a pizza because you're putting toppings on it.
But is it like the whole, because like in a chicken parm, I mean, this is a whole pizza. Like it's round and it looks like a pizza and it looks like it's totally connected. Which I don't know enough about chickens to know. I don't think this happens naturally with chickens.
I don't think so. Actually, no, I'm looking at the pictures. I don't know if this is all of them, but it almost looks heart-shaped. I don't know if you're seeing the same pictures I'm looking at. It's literally like a heart.
Yeah, it kind of at the top does seem a little angled.
But maybe that's just the one I'm looking at. But I've seen a couple different pictures where they all look kind of
It also kind of looks like mac and cheese a little on top of it, right? You know, it doesn't totally look like...
If I showed you that picture, would you assume that was a pizza?
Now, do we think this is available right now? And can we order one right now?
That'd be great.
See, now I don't want to not support. We're here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and there's a great chicken and waffles spot here, by the way, which I love some chicken and waffles. But let's just see. If I start my order online, you can order Chizza right here from the KFC app right now. I don't know if our local KFC is open at this time. I mean, I know Chick-fil-A is not open on Sundays. The KFC, what time do you think KFC opens? 11?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, about 11. I think there's one that opens at 10:30.
Only at KFC for a limited time. You can get with any kind of side. So I could still get my... God, would you really want a side after that?
It seems like enough food as it is.
Maybe some sweet corn after the Chizza. Then the only drink choice... Oh, no. I guess no, you could pick any drink. But for some reason, blackberry lemonade is
it pairs well, huh?
is what the natural pairing is. Let's see, and then you order.
What a way to start your day with a chizza at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, let's just see what using my current location. All right, our closest one opens up. Oh, the one on Mitchell, 2.75 miles. That one opens at 10:30. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna deliver. Okay, all right. Looks like no chizza today. But are you committed? Are you in? Are you going to try it?
I think I might. I actually might have to just try it.
Like, is it in your head enough now where like you're going to have it today now?
I might. I mean, I thinking on my way home, I might have to stop by a KFC and see if I can't see about this chizza just for the story. You know, I just got to see what it's all about.
I don't think it doesn't look like something that looks like you can really like eat it in the car. Like, which I wouldn't say KFC in general is.
No,
like, I guess if you're going with the chicken sandwich, maybe you can.
I'm saying I'll take it home. I got to pick it up, take it home. Well, I put on a movie and enjoy my chizza.
Yeah, I don't know. When I look at that, it makes me appreciate Palermo's pizza even more. I mean, that is so far from pizza. And by the way, to KFC's credit, they are not claiming it is pizza in any way. But it is Palermo's pizza. It is not when you look at it. I mean, I don't know. I guess you put the chicken parm thing. Chicken parm's delicious.
Absolutely.
Oh wait! Now I just thought of what do you think the calories on this thing are?
No, don't say that. That's not going to make me get it.
No, you're not counting your calories.
Oh, I am. Yeah, I do sometimes.
I meant you look like you count your calories so well. Is what I meant.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, but the thing is, what intrigues me is it's my two favorite things. My two favorite foods are pizza and fried chicken.
Oh, so how can you not
That's
do
what
it?
I'm saying. Like it's almost calling to me. I had no idea you were going to bring this up on the show, and so now I feel like I have to.
Okay, so it's cut into 4 parts, right?
Yes, always.
Like that's how the pizza is. I mean, traditional I would say would be 8, but you know,
Sure.
a pizza. So the 4 slices, it says are I don't know if this could be right. 1,640 calories, which that seems potentially right, but 132 grams of protein.
Whoa,
that sounds like a lot of protein.
That's a lot of protein. Well, I guess it's got chicken, it's got pepperoni.
Because it was saying each actual serving is 410 calories and 33 grams of protein, and there's four servings.
Right.
I mean,
that's a whole day right there.
I might like do that and run a marathon or something.
Right, yeah.
That is. I
heard that's what Michael Phelps eats before he.
Yeah, that is. It does. The small pizza is 410 calories, which is just the one slice. So you can get that if you're counting the calories.
I think that's what I might do.
And it looks like it's, I don't know, on the KFC menu, the small pizza, what it looks like is just almost like 2 little chicken breasts almost, where like they put the cheese and the sauce and the pepperoni on top of it.
Right.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
It does.
Like 410 calories. It's not pizza though.
No, not pizza.
It is clearly not pizza. All right. Now that we got that worked out, which I think was, yeah, that's been kind of on my mind since yesterday. I saw the commercial and there was no real appropriate time to discuss it. The other thing that is equally nonsensical is it does look like the bet is going to be paid off. This is my bet for losing our Cover 5 contest. And as of now, we've been looking for when the right time was going to be. And it looks like it's going to be March 22nd. It's a Friday at beginning at 3 o'clock. Now, I don't know if that's a good time, but a Friday at 3, I think I'm going to try to sneak out of work right around then. Friday at 3. So the bet was that I need to go to a George Webb and be there for 24 hours without doing work, without doing all that. But I can subtract, and this is not an original bet. We stole this from other fantasy football leagues. I can subtract 1 hour for every pancake. I think it might be pancake or waffle, but I don't know. what's heavy? Waffles are heavier than pancakes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Okay. So I could subtract an hour for every pancake I eat. So if I start at 3 o'clock, for me to leave by midnight, I will have had to eat 15 pancakes. Can I do that?
You can do it. You won't feel great at any point.
Yeah.
It'll be a challenge.
Yeah. All right. Well, more to come on that, but that is looking like it. A lot of questions of if I was going to live up to the bet, but as of now, March 22nd, a Friday at George Webb, a George Webb TBD. We'll have more information on that coming up 2 weeks from today. All right. So much to get to today that's not involving Chitza, including the Milwaukee Bucks. Look at that. How about them coming off the second half, starting hot? We'll talk a little bit about the combine and the draft and so much more. It's Sunday Karma. Jason Wilde joins us an hour from right now, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Even when you think you know what's going on, you can never be too sure.
Are you in the clunker coming camp as well?
Yes. Could be 2.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
The double clunker.
Are we talking about boobs?
I like how if anything is mentioned in Bears, he goes to boobs.
You know?
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Oh, one call, that's all. You hear it, but what does it mean? Does one call, that's all mean that it's simple? It's absolutely not simple. And that's why Gruber Law Offices has 35 plus years, tens of thousands of case experience, and will go as deep as they need to get. One call, that's all is about making it simple for you. Because of that experience, because of them being nationally recognized, local and family owned, committed to this community. You see their commitment in their work with their clients. You see their commitment in their community outreach and community support. And that's why Gruber Law Offices has become synonymous with Milwaukee and Wisconsin. So if you or a loved one are ever injured, remember, it's one call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices.
The hit true crime podcast Paper Ghosts is back with a haunting mystery in the shadows of the Ozarks. Season 4 unravels a darkly intriguing cold case from 1989 as a community continues to search for answers about a missing girl, various suspects, and a potential connection to BTK.
It's gone from, okay, we don't think something's quite right, to there's some worry going on now because now we've found some of her clothing.
Listen to Paper Ghosts wherever you get your podcasts.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
It's 40 love here in the third set.
And there's the bell. She's coming off the bench hot, looking for a quick knockdown. But wait, she's driving to the hoop. Oh, down goes the champ.
Now that's another double fault. She'll be shooting too.
The serve is up. And here comes the left hook. She's bundled her home and auto insurance with Progressive. Swish, Ace, Savings, TKO.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system. Symptoms vary from person to person, as MS does not discriminate, and anyone can be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. With one of the largest MS incident rates in the country, Wisconsin is a league leader in the number of people living with MS. The National MS Society funds cutting-edge research, drives change through advocacy, and provides programs and services to help people affected by MS to live their best lives. Connect with nationalmssociety.org to learn more, get involved, and to show much love to people living with MS.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hey, hungry? And your heart is ticking for chicken? Well, take a quick turn into Quick Trip because we got no ordinary chicken. Yeah, go wild with wings. Next level super wings with trusty sidekick and sauces. Or let's talk tender. Quick Chick tenders. Love me tenders. Love me some Quick tenders. Ours are bigger, better, tastier. Or if you're feeling good old school comfort fried chicken, we got it. Hand breaded down homier than anywhere. Quick Trip. Saving your nuggets from ordinary.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer. Get started on your fitness journey by going to PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com. That's PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
At the Etihad, we go to the half. Manchester United leading at Manchester City 1-0. How about that? That is a surprising first 45 minutes plus stoppage time as Manchester City trying to catch Liverpool for the top of the Premiership. Manchester United leads 1-0 at the half. All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks went into the end of the first half looking at about as bad as I think a team this good could look, right? You know, a loss at Memphis. It was their 5th loss in 7 games, their 7th loss in 10 games. 7 losses in 10 games under Doc Rivers, right? So pretty bad. No, not pretty bad. Really bad. And even if you did see some positives like I did in the defense, maybe improving, the idea that they had defeated the Denver Nuggets at home, the idea that they had back-to-back games where they didn't give up 100 points at home against Charlotte and the Denver Nuggets in 2 of those 3 wins, they were still 3-7. And they had lost to not just the Memphis Grizzlies, but a shell of the Memphis Grizzlies. You know, Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane. And, you know, if you can name anyone from the Memphis Grizzlies, they were not playing that night when the Bucks went to Memphis and lost 113-110 the game before the All-Star break. And so it was very understandable why people were definitely, and I say were, but maybe still are, extremely concerned about what's going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. My counter to that was, hey, do you know what the Bucks record was, you know, at the All-Star break? And some people would know and figure out, okay, 35-21. You know, 56 games, 35-21. Okay? How about we go back to 2021 when the Bucks won the championship? What was their record through 56 games? 35-21. Who had they played in their 56th game? They had played the Memphis Grizzlies. They had lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. So 3 years ago, the Milwaukee Bucks were 35-21, having lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. This year, the Milwaukee Bucks were 35-21, having lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, we talked about the fact that they were starting the second half with a really, really difficult stretch because they were going to have a lot of games on the road, right? They were going to have a stretch of 8 of 10 games on the road. 9, you know, and that's not even counting the Grizzlies game before the break. So it was going to start at Minnesota, at Philly, home, Hornets, at Bulls. And we had said, all right, Sixers, you have an injury there. So probably lose to the T-Wolves. So that's probably a 3-2, 4-1 stretch. Easier part of the 10-game stretch with 8 of 10 on the road. The Bucks have gone 5-0 in that stretch. Win at Minnesota was the toughest one there. But, we had said maybe you split. We had them losing the Timberwolves. Then between the Sixers and the Bulls, 2 games on the road, you maybe win one, lose one. But the Bucks have actually won all those games, including winning the home-and-home series with the Charlotte Hornets, which I think everyone expected. So now the Bucks sit at 40-21. Now the Bucks sit pretty much right there with the Cavs for second place in the East. And I don't know that we care that much, second versus third. I think the Cavs probably care a little more, although the Cavs had home court against the Knicks last year and lost in their first-round series. So now you get up to what is the next 5-game stretch. Again, 4 of 5 on the road. The only home game being tomorrow against the Clippers, who they again play next Sunday. Sandwiched in there is a lot of rest, but games against at Golden State and at the Lakers. Probably the 2 most high-profile teams in the NBA, and probably the 2 teams that need wins more than anybody in the NBA, because those teams are fighting. They're in the 9th and 10th spots in the West, and they're just trying to fight to get into the hosting the play-in games and into the, hey, we don't want to have to win 2 games to make the postseason. If we can get to 7 or 8, you only need to win 1 game to make the playoffs. So here's what the Bucks have coming up. They have the Clippers tomorrow night, then Golden State Wednesday, Lakers Friday, Clippers Sunday, Sacramento Kings on Tuesday, all on the road except for the Clippers tomorrow night. As you look at that, Max, how many wins can you find in those 5 games?
I think that they will beat the Lakers, but the rest of those 3 games scare me in terms of the away games. I think they'll beat the Clippers at home tomorrow.
Okay, so you're saying beat the Lakers, lose to Golden State, beat the Clippers, lose to Golden State, beat the Lakers, lose at the Clippers,
yes,
and then lose at Sacramento.
Sacramento is one team that people overlook a lot, and I think that's the kind of team that would give the Bucks trouble. They're really fast. They score a lot. They move up and down. It's the end of a West Coast road trip as well. So that's just a tough schedule. Now, do I think that they could sneak out a win against, the Warriors or the Clippers again? Sure, but I think those are going to be difficult games, especially on a West Coast road trip.
And if the Bucks were to go 3-2, then they will have gone 8-2 over that part of the schedule. After that, they still have in the next 5 include games home against the Suns, at the Celtics, and home against the Thunder, which are, some of the top teams in the NBA. This is the home stretch.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule.
But this is the home stretch. 61 games in now. That means only 21 games left in the season, and this is the time where the Bucks are starting to shape their identity. The amazing thing, as we've talked about, how bad the Bucks defense has been all year long. I don't know that I've seen a game in the modern Bucks era where I've seen as bad a defense as actually the game that they beat the San Antonio Spurs. That was the game for me that felt almost like the low point defensively. They ended up beating the San Antonio Spurs at San Antonio 125-121. But every single possession, the Spurs, who are much better now than they were then, got everything they wanted at any time they wanted. And now, how about this? Over the last 4 games, the Bucks have not given up 100 points. The Bucks have not given up 100 points in 4 consecutive games. You have to go, if you, at the start of the season, it was game number 12 against Charlotte, where they first did not give up 100 points in a game. How about the second time the Bucks did not give up 100, held the team to under 100? When do you think that was?
Game 20?
I am scrolling.
It's still scrolling. That's
I am still scrolling.
It's never a good sign.
And the next time the Bucks did not give up 100 was to Charlotte on February 9th.
Leave it to the Hornets.
So the only time in the entire Adrian Griffin era that the Bucks did not, that the Bucks held the team under 100 points was giving up 99 to Charlotte. And then the first time they held a team under 100 was Charlotte. And then they did it again and again. Now, let me just look here, because doing that against Charlotte when they gave up, so they gave up 84 to Charlotte and then 95 to Denver. So those were back-to-back games where they gave up under 100, and that was at the start of the Doc era, right? That was, or I guess, yeah. Okay, so Charlotte and Denver, yep, those were with Doc. And then now 4 consecutive games. Now 2 of those again are to Charlotte. So now they've done this on the year now 7 times. 4 of the 7 times are to Charlotte that they've given up less than 100 points.
That's amazing.
So I'm not sure how much we could read into this, but 97 to the Bulls, 98 to the Sixers, 95 to Denver. 3 times that it hasn't been Charlotte have all happened in the Doc Rivers era. So I think things are getting better, but we're certainly going to find out in these next 21 games, and 4 of the next 5 games on the road, and the one that is not on the road against the Los Angeles Clippers tomorrow night at Fiserv Forum. All right, we're going to normally have Jason Wilde in this next segment. Instead, we are going to, so the question is, do we move up 7 to 11 since Wilde's at 11:15? I think we don't. I think we keep 7 and 11 in its same spot, and we will have more, and we'll get into some Packer stuff as everyone is locked in on the combines. As we continue, it's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at Bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Bruston Nortman, and I gotta tell you about one of my new favorite ways to watch games with the Underdog Fantasy Sports app. A pick'em fantasy game where you can win real money. It's easy to find in your app store and even easier to use. Here's how it works. Pick 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams, then select higher or lower on those players' stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Yeah, it is that easy. Especially with the hoop season hitting high gear, you know I'm watching every game with the Underdog Fantasy app. So right now, head to their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up using promo code KBN. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. That's promo code KBN. Join me and get the Underdog Fantasy app so that you can enhance your game watching experience just like me. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hey, it's Jason Wilding for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau Snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Severe flooding from recent hurricanes and other storms has left hundreds of thousands of cars, trucks, and other vehicles unsafe to drive. Flooded vehicles are supposed to be dismantled for usable parts or crushed for scrap, and a flood title should be issued to that car. But some shady dealers will buy a flooded vehicle, clean it up, and get it retitled with no indication it was flooded. Or uninsured cars will be cleaned up by the owner and sold online, also with no warning to the buyer. If the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Make sure to check for flood damage and have a qualified mechanic inspect the vehicle before you write a check. The free VIN check service from the National Insurance Crime Bureau is a good place to start. Head over to nicb.org to check it out.
To report fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Untethered, unfiltered, and unbothered.
I mean, I love me some Jordan Love, but you know what else I love? Strippers.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
That's what I want for my birthday. Listen, Jordan Love, I'll see you one day, buddy.
Weekdays from 2 to 5, right here on 94.5 ESPN, and subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh, man, you know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Yeah. Suits and ties yelling out, pay the guys, man, I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Oh,
NFL combines are going on right now, and
oh, man, you know I had to. Sometimes I laugh with God.
I don't go out of my way to watch it, but we throw it on here, and it really is fun to watch, like, once you're actually, like, doing it. Like, I feel like I used to do it on the video games and all that and, you know, play it out. But the combine to me is, you know, seeing how fast someone runs and jumps and all that. That to me is so much less interesting than the Players Association combine that basically went on during the season, where they asked NFL players to judge their teams back in 2023 on 8 categories. And this year they had players judge their teams on 11 categories. So this is almost like the team and NFL ownership combine. And it's always interesting to think about, how are the Packers going to do in something where the players are talking about how they're going to be treated? Now, here's what I would think. I would think the Packers wouldn't do that well, because we hear Aaron Rodgers talk about how they're not super loyal to their players. They don't have an owner who's going to spend lavishly on their players, or like send his private plane or her private plane places for them and all that. So you wonder how well the Packers are able to do in something like this. So here are the results. This is the NFL Players Association grades of NFL teams, and it's the Players Association team report and how the Packers do compared to the rest of the NFL. Treatment of families. You know, you'd think this is pretty important. Last year, the Packers were a B+ and came in 5th. This year, the Packers were a C+ and came in 10th. Little step back there. Food in the cafeteria. Last year, the Packers were an A and first place in the NFL. And I think food in the cafeteria doesn't just mean like they have Lucky Charms or whatever. Like, you know, it also means that you can get 3 meals a day there, that there's a lot of different options, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, food and cafeteria, this year, Packers were a B+, 6th place. Nutritionist or dietitian. Last year, that was not ranked. This year, the Packers were a B+, good enough for 14th place. Locker room. So the physical locker room. Packers last year, 14th with a B. This year, 15th, B-. Doesn't feel that good right now through these rankings. So C+, B+, B+, B-. Training room, from a B- in 12th to a B in 11th. So they kind of feel middle of the pack. I didn't mean the pack like a pun and all that. Training staff. Last year an A-, 15th. This year a B, 16th. Again, feels middle of the pack. But here's where they start to step it up. Weight room. Last year an A, 5th place. This year an A, 7th place. Strength coaches. Last year an A, 10th. This year an A-, but move up to 8th. Team travel. Last year an A, which was 4th. This year a B+, which was 4th. Head coach. Last year they didn't rank. This year a B+, which was 21st, which is interesting, right? I mean, that shows that players are pretty positive about their head coach throughout the NFL. If a B+ for Matt LaFleur was only good for 21st. And last one, team ownership. Now, the Packers don't have team ownership. So when I see last year that was NA, that makes sense, but that's because last year they didn't ask anybody that. So in team ownership, the Packers got an A, which was good for 6th place. So I guess they're saying that's about Mark Murphy. I don't know. Like, I don't know, or that they're happy there is no ownership, or maybe they're talking about all the fans, like, as owners, like all the people who bought stock in the Packers, like, because players are probably, think about if you're a Packers player, how often you're like going out to like whatever Target to grab something and someone stops you like, hey, I'm an owner. And they're like, oh, nice to meet you. Of course I'll take a picture with you. Like, I'm sure every single day the Packers players are confronted with owners. And so the fact, I would have thought the Packers team ownership would get an F-, which I saw some teams actually get. The fact that you all who bought the stock are that good to your players and to the Packers when you see them, because that is our team ownership, right? So the Packers team ownership got an A, which was good for 6th place. So the top overall organizations, according to players, at number 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars. At number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 3, the Green Bay Packers. So those stats that I gave you added up to the Packers moving up this year in the rankings, which you think about free agency and all that. They didn't rank where the best clubs were or where the weather's the best or any of those things. But you'd have to think, as free agency is approaching, that the idea of being ranked as the 3rd best organization in the entire NFL when it comes to how you treat your players is something that has to make a difference. Number 2 was the Minnesota Vikings, and then the Miami Dolphins were the number 1 organization. Interestingly, the Kansas City Chiefs were the next to last ranked organization. The New England Patriots are 4th to last, and the Steelers are 5th to last, which I think if you had asked most people, you would have thought that the Chiefs, Patriots, and Steelers were more likely the model franchises than 3 of the ones who treat their players the worst. So really interesting thing to come from the Players Association survey of the best and worst teams when it comes to treating their players. But really good to see, right? I think we talk about the positives and negatives of team ownership. I guess from a player standpoint, they gave the Packers owners an A. So you got to give a lot of credit to the Packers in terms of knowing that they're not maybe the deepest pocketed organization, but they've done enough to be able to have the dollars, to have the weight rooms, to have the dietitians, to have the training staff, to have the things that matter to players. So that is a very good job by the Green Bay Packers. 3rd best organization in the eyes of NFL players, which is a really, really impressive thing. All right, when we continue, we will talk a little bit about the Combine, and then we'll have our 7-Eleven, and then Jason Wilde, and then Palermo's Picks. We got a lot still to get to. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We've told you about Moses Hadara,
the diamond cutter who created the Kessler 81.
the magical diamond that vibrates with light.
Kessler's works with crazy diamond cutters.
Geniuses who create wonderful, spectacular,
crazy diamond shapes.
The one thing these crazy genius diamonds all have in common
is that they explode with light.
The Kessler Emerald Cut diamond sends out rippling waves of light, like water lapping onto a beach.
The Kessler Square Radiant Diamond glows like the sun on the horizon.
Sometimes sunrise,
sometimes sunset.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Ask to see the rippling waves of light, like water on the beach.
Ask to see the glow that looks like sunrise and sunset.
Ask to see the Kessler Crazy Genius Diamonds.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Milwaukee, it's time to lace up those shoes for the 12th annual Lucky Leprechauns 7K, hosted by Leff's Lucky Town on Saturday, March 9th, benefiting the MAC Fund, Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer. Register now and experience the excitement. Participants get 2 free beers, a stylish race shirt, and a blingy medal to show off. Stick around for the post-race party where you can roast marshmallows, enjoy Tito's ice shots for charity, listen to live music, and much more. Register now at LuckyLeprechaunRun.com and be part of Milwaukee's biggest St. Patty's Weekend celebration.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Thinking about updating your bath or shower? Well, turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get a free toilet with your Lugstone shower purchase, and you pay nothing until 2025. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, so have you tried fried chicken from Quick Trip? Ooh, freshly cooked, hot, and ready. And I'm talking jumbo, hand-breaded chicken tenders, boneless wings dripping with all your favorite sauces. Or how about 8 pieces of fried chicken deliciousness? Perfect for your next large group meal. I mean, this is fried chicken that slays. I'm not talking about the runway. Slays appetites, fills you up. This is no ordinary chicken. It'll make any meal extraordinary. Quick Trip fried chicken, ready for your next meal. See you next time.
The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range, offering unlimited range time in 40 lanes, which include 20 20-yard lanes and 20 50-yard lanes. And no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm rentals to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of their concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Using gas to heat our homes can be dangerous, but we have the technology to transition to clean electric alternatives. My name is Matt Vespa. I'm a senior attorney at Earth Justice, and I'm going to court to fight for clean energy. Until safe, affordable clean energy is an option in every home, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Got it stove after stove, so gonna smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. They help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more. Tell me what I want, just keep searching on. It's never enough, cup after cup, after. I wouldn't get one if I could find a far in the car, and I put that on my mama. And my car.
Continue on Sunday Karma, and 2 stories to share of one a Badger, maybe one a coulda, shoulda Badger, as I think everyone watched yesterday and saw the Fighting Illini defeat the Wisconsin Badgers. And as that game was happening, you know, there was only one storyline in the game, right? If you were watching it on TV, they couldn't have shown the same, you know, set of parents enough, right? And the idea was, here is a Wisconsin kid, Marcus Domask, from Waupun. Yep. Big ups, Dodge County, who went to Southern Illinois for 4 years, transferred to Illinois, and now has had a absolutely monster year with Illinois after, having a really great career. So this isn't like a come out of nowhere, but this is a grad student who is having an amazing year, averaging 16 points and 5 rebounds and over 3 assists a game, shooting the ball well, doing it all for the Fighting Illini. But that one we heard and was shoved down our throat all day yesterday. The one that I found to be interesting, and these are going to happen, right? When you have a lot of talent and you have a deep team and, you have a new coach and so there's going to be transfers and stuff, is the fastest running back at the Combine yesterday. Do you know who that was, Max?
I do not.
It was Louisville's Isaac Guerendo was the fastest running back at the Combine. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, I won't blame you, but he was actually honorable mention All Big Ten as a kick returner for the University of Wisconsin, and transferred to Louisville and had a breakout year and breakout college bowl game this year where he ran for like 160 yards or something in the bowl game. He was primarily, a kickoff returner for the Badgers. But, even honorable All Big Ten special teams in 2022, 3-time academic All Big Ten, played in 12 games as a reserve running back and primary kick returner, totaled 385 yards and 5 touchdowns on 64 carries with Wisconsin. And now he is skyrocketing up the boards of NFL draft teams. 6'1", 225 from Wisconsin, who seem to have the top performance of any running back at the Combine. He certainly had the best 40. He ran a 4.33 40. The fastest 40 time of any 220-plus pound running back since 2003.
That's insane.
Right? This
6'1", 223 running a 4.33 is absolutely ridiculous.
The fastest 40 of anyone running a 220, with anyone running a 40 who is 220 plus, is a guy who was on the Badgers for the last 4 years, and most of us didn't even realize it. But that's not all. He also, at that size, his vertical jump, 41.5 inches, oh my God, which led all running backs. So he, and by the way, Wisconsin's had pretty good running backs. So it's not like, and we've had bad running backs at Wisconsin for the last. So Wisconsin always has great running backs. So you understand his broad jump, 10 feet 9 inches, which was second among running backs overall. By the way, his vertical jump was 5th among all people who had done the Combine. That's how athletic this former Badger, now Louisville running back is. If you add it all up, he, because they have there's a relative athletic score since 1987. It was the best RAS score from a running back since Jackie Battle in 2007, and it tied Edgerrin James for the 3rd best ever. Now, here's the thing I'll say. The lone perfect score was Justin Fargas in 2003. So you have Justin Fargas, Jackie Battle, and James Stewart, who had 3 of the 4 best scores, and Edgerrin James. So just because you have these combine scores doesn't mean you're actually going to be an incredible running back. But what an impressive performance by a guy who literally was right there on the Badgers. We would watch him return kicks, I guess, and occasionally, get some carries. And he is one of the most highly, sought after running backs now. And we know running back value is not what it once was, but a huge combine for the former Badger, which as you watch it, like they just showed that Puka Nacua had the best speed in this one drill where you catch a bunch of balls going over the middle and then you run down the sidelines. And last year, Puka Nacua had the best speed in the drill, and they show the drill and then they show how many times in the NFL last year he actually ended up doing those same things en route to the record-breaking season that he had for the Los Angeles Rams. So it is, they do a good job of kind of tying it together. And as you start to see these things, you're like, okay, I don't really know that guy from college, but maybe I should, because maybe this guy's going to be a difference maker in the NFL coming up. So really interesting to see how these 40 times and how these broad jumps and all these jumps relate to how well these guys play in the NFL, because most of the quarterbacks weren't going to do everything, but J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, he threw yesterday and he impressed. And so J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, who didn't throw the ball that much in college football and leading Michigan to a national championship, he's going to be a first-round pick. There's no doubt he's going to be a first-round pick. There's going to be, 5, 6 first-round picks at the quarterback position. This draft is going to be really interesting. We're under 2 months away from it. And ESPN Radio is your exclusive home for the NFL draft. All right, when we continue, we have your 7 at 11. That is right. It's your 7 at 11, and it will have a little bit of a Packers draft theme. Your 7 at 11 coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Make it a real Mad March with a playoff payout at Potawatomi. Every week you could score your share of $100,000 in cash and free play. Play this March for drawing entries. Win each Thursday. Plus, the prizes refresh every week for even more winners. The playoff payout at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. It's anyone's game. For more details, visit paysbig.com/payout. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and if you're like me, you're probably budgeting out the rest of your 2024. Well, now's the time to set preferred dates for booking Johnson & Sons Paving. Whether it's asphalt or concrete, they set the standard for your needs. Maybe it's patching now, but a full repaving later. Talk with a Johnson & Sons project manager and set yourself up with a 5-year game plan. Booking work now gives you all the time needed to get the right paperwork in place. Get started now at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Cousins Subs is stepping up their game this Lenten season with a decadent delight featuring lobster. You heard that right, lobster. This new limited-time only lobster salad sub features lobster mixed with Cousins' signature mayo over a bed of lettuce and topped with onions, tomato, and Old Bay seasoning on their famous Italian bread. Baked fresh daily. Order the new lobster salad sub at any Cousins location, online or via their mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Hey, it's Jason Wilding for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games and the Lambeau Snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Aside from a house or a car specifically, what is the most expensive thing you own? Wendy?
A car.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name.
Alligator. Name something that's better than being rich.
4. Besides a bird, something in a bird cage.
Hamster.
Something that comes with a summer storm. Snow. Something Russia's famous for, Bob. Russians.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob!
Naked grandma! Reason you might stay indoors on a beautiful day. Because it's raining? Name something you might buy that could turn out to be phony. Yeah, a horse. Name a time that most people get up. In the morning. A time most people go to bed. At night.
This is the 7 at 11 on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
All right, now, this is not easy. So, what we're going to be looking for here as we get into the combine and are looking at the NFL draft is figuring out how well the Green Bay Packers have drafted and what the first round has yielded for the Green Bay Packers. So it should be a pretty easy question, but I would say it is one of our harder questions that we have asked, because what we are looking for is how many of those top picks. So when you think about the first round pick, the first round of the draft, how many of those first rounders have actually become Pro Bowlers? So, and when you think about it, it's not, it definitely is not an easy thing to figure out. So, guys drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the first round, how many times have those players actually made a Pro Bowl? Okay, you ready for, ready? Are you going to be ready to take the first crack at this?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and let me just make sure we have this.
So just so I'm clear, this is the last 7.
We're looking for the last 7 Packers first round picks
to make a Pro Bowl.
To make a Pro Bowl.
Okay.
And let me just make sure. All right. Last 7 first round picks from the Green Bay Packers to have made a Pro Bowl. Now, there are no Pro Bowl games anymore. We understand that. So that, you know, whether it's flag football or whatever. So it doesn't mean you have to play in a Pro Bowl game. It just means you had to have been a Pro Bowler. All right. And we have the first round picks right here. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right. I'm just going to knock him out right away. Jair Alexander.
Jair Alexander was, in fact, a first round pick by the Green Bay Packers. And he has, in fact, been to 2 Pro Bowls. So that is correct. Your 2018, he has also been a Pro Bowler. That is correct.
Now, I want to say somebody, because he had a great year, and I think he was a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he actually was. He should have been. I'm just going to say it. Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
He was a Pro Bowler, right? Come on.
I mean, you would think everyone ends up making the list, right? At some point,
top 3 in the NFL in touchdown passes. But for some reason, I feel like he wasn't a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I don't. He's not on this list.
Oh.
Wait. But let's just look and see. We got to look at who, because it was like.
I knew I was wrong. I shouldn't have guessed it.
But the question is, did he not?
So that's the thing, right? Like,
did he not go?
I know he wasn't there. But I was like, okay, well, Baker Mayfield was a Pro Bowler.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're telling me Jordan Love wasn't a Pro Bowler?
I mean, because I watched all that stuff. Okay, so let's look at this roster here. Because how would Jordan Love have lost out?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so here you go. The offense was Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, who replaced Purdy, Baker Mayfield, who replaced Prescott, and Geno Smith, who replaced Stafford.
You're telling me Geno Smith made the Pro Bowl over Jordan Love?
I don't know that he did necessarily. So I think Purdy, Prescott, and Stafford were the three who made it. And then those other three guys were the ones available. And I think since the Packers, maybe went deeper in the playoffs, I would imagine that he would have been ahead of
that makes sense.
Baker or Geno. I mean, he probably had a similar year to Jalen Hurts this year, even.
He was, I believe, I could be wrong, he was second or third in the NFL in overall touchdown passes in the whole league.
Yeah. But that is unfortunately not enough to get it done for you. So that is going to be incorrect. And all right, you got one. No, that's not bad. You got Jair Alexander. We're looking for Green Bay Packers who have, and it's interesting to see when they've done it now. And Jair, I'd said he had made 2 Pro Bowls. They have him for 2020 and 2022. Oh, I guess he made a bunch of All-Pro teams that year. He made a bunch of All-Pro teams in addition to his Pro Bowl team. All right, here's what we're looking for. Besides Jair Alexander, who were the last 6 Packer first-round picks to make a Pro Bowl? Packers last 6, besides Jair Alexander, first-round picks to make a Pro Bowl. Give a call now, 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. Looking for 6 more Green Bay Packers who were drafted in the first round and then made a Pro Bowl. By the way, there is a real big surprise on this list, I would say. One in the last 10 years that I don't think people will get right away. 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. There are some very, very well-known names. One is there's still current players on the team who match this. And I will tell you that Aaron Rodgers is not on this list. That's how I'm going to tell you to think about the time frame of this. So you have Jair Alexander as the most recent, and then there are 6 more before Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers does not make this list. Who are the 7 first-round picks to make a Pro Bowl from the Green Bay Packers since Aaron Rodgers? We have Jair Alexander, number 1 on the list. Looking for others, you can call now, 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Jason Wilde will be coming up and joining us in less than 10 minutes with the latest on the Green Bay Packers. So who are the 7 Green Bay Packers who have been drafted in the first round and made a Pro Bowl? That is what we are looking for. And by the way, Jonathan Abram does not count on this list. They have to be drafted in the first round by the Packers. So it's not Green Bay Packers who were drafted on the first round and played on the Packers or any of that. So it is first round picks of the Green Bay Packers who have made a Pro Bowl. The last 7. We have Jair Alexander, looking for 6 others. All right. While you're screening the calls on that, and this is not I'm telling you, there's only 1, maybe 2 that are really hard. But I think this is very gettable, very doable for you. We are looking for who those 7 Pro Bowlers are. We have Jair, looking for 6 more. Let's start with Howard. You're on Sunday Karma. Morning, Howard.
Good morning. Well, let's see. How about Clay Matthews?
Clay Matthews, who was certainly more recently drafted than Aaron Rodgers. Clay Matthews was drafted in 2009, and he made 6 Pro Bowls. So he is absolutely on the list. Well done. Do you have another for us?
I'm going to guess Clinton Dix. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, Clinton Dix was, in fact, a first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers in 2014. He was the one that I thought was the hardest on this list because he did, in fact, make the Pro Bowl in 2016. Well done, Howard. So we have Jair Alexander.
That was the hint, actually.
Yes. We have Jair. Yep, you did get that little subtle hint. Jair, number 1 on the list. Ha, number 3 on the list. And Clay, number 5 on the list. Do you have any other guesses?
I'm going to guess B.J. Raji.
B.J. Raji was the 9th overall pick of the Green Bay Packers in 2009. And in 2011, he was a Pro Bowler. Well done, B.J. Raji.
Wow.
We now have 4 on the list. Do you have another guess for us?
I'm just trying to think who the number 1 picks were. Well, they were mostly defensive, which makes it hard because they weren't all that good. No, I'll stop at 4 because I can't think of another one.
All right, well done. Well done. And so there you have number 1, Jair Alexander. Number 3, Clinton Dix. Number 5, Clay Matthews. Number 6, B.J. Raji. That is quite impressive for Howard to knock all those out. We are only missing 3 more, although one of them is a little controversial, I think. So, but all right, we have 3 left on this list. Packers first-round picks who ended up making a Pro Bowl. So this one of the players that was on my list was actually made an all-pro team, but seemingly they put on this list, but may not have actually played in a Pro Bowl, and he may be a teammate here at ESPN Wisconsin. But I mean, there's another few big ones here. There is an absolute big one. I guess ultimately 2, right? I mean, there is a current big time part of the defense who has not only been to 1 Pro Bowl or 2 Pro Bowls, he has been to 3 Pro Bowls. And we have another defensive player who is a big time part of one of the biggest shows in all of sports media. We will think about who those 2 Packers are as we welcome in Jason Wilde, who joins us next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. Don't let the chilly weather end your golf season. X-Golf and American Family Field is open all year round. They've got innovative and accurate golf simulators, all overlooking left field at AmFam Field. Enjoy daily lunch specials or have an outing with your friends and take in X-Golf's full bar and food menus. X-Golf AmFam Field is even offering golf lessons by a PGA Pro. Everyone is welcome at X-Golf AmFam. Book your sim today, xgolfamfamfield.com. I'll see you out there.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Thinking about updating your bath or shower? Well, turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get a free toilet with your Lugstone shower purchase, and you pay nothing until 2025. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
We have so much going on. We're the place to be for basketball season, with TVs everywhere. Book a party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Sign up for summer bocce leagues now before they fill up. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where we pile it high!
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership by joining the U.S. Army ROTC. Army ROTC programs transform students into confident leaders and provide a wide range of scholarships to help pursue life-defining careers. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. Gain the experience and get the resources to open doors down the road. Army ROTC is open for enrollment. Visit goarmy.com/ROTC to learn more about available opportunities and scholarships, including at Marquette University.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
My night runs into morning all the time, and through my phone I'm scrolling, bang my line. Off that drink it's hard to focus. Seems like I'm always chosen by romantics that are hopeless. We can make arrangements though.
Jason Wilde is brought to us by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. Check out all new and used at Boucher.com. Good morning, Jason.
Morning, Craig. How are you?
Good, Jason. So, Combine, have you watched over or under 100 individual workouts?
Under.
Okay.
0.5 individual workouts. Under.
So you haven't found yourself just like throwing it on and just watching Devontae Walker from North Carolina run his 40s? Like none of this?
I have not, no. But we've seen a couple of sporting events in person, which I don't get to do very often, but Sid's schedule allowed for that. So I went and saw UW Oshkosh, which advanced to the Sweet 16 in Division III women's basketball, and we saw UW Milwaukee against UW Green Bay yesterday afternoon in women's basketball. So I've gotten to see more live sports, but not as much combine sprinting and jumping and all that good stuff.
Not watching Xavier Worthy set records and get into all the combine stuff and then have that record broken. All right, so Jason, let's then slide over to the deadlines.
Well, let me
just
add this.
Yes.
Let me add this real quick, because I was talking to one of the dads at Sid's volleyball tournament here this morning, and I'm always fascinated by this time of year because it is kind of, when it comes to draft prospects, the silly season, right? Because we get very excited about guys that run really fast or set records in the 3-cone drill or whatever else. But, you know, this is a time where that gets center stage. But then by the time we get to the days leading up to the draft, all these guys go back to the film and take another look at each of their prospects on tape and think about what they are as football players as opposed to track and field athletes. And so while it certainly can help you that you run really fast, and it can certainly hurt you if you don't, I do think that this is a time where that gets more attention than it actually gets in the draft selection process. I think that's important to point out.
Right, but the interesting thing to me is that you do kind of forget about this stuff by then, and no one has totally cracked the code, right, on what matters the most and what doesn't. Like they were showing that last year Puka Nacua had the fastest speed on one of these drills. Then, he ended up as pick number 177 and the most successful rookie wide receiver of all time. So it's still trying to crack the code of like, are there little nuggets that can be taken from the combines that could be the difference between finding the right or wrong player?
Right, and look, let's also point out that this is a huge component in the way the Green Bay Packers draft, and that's why I wanted to make sure people didn't think just because I'm not watching it on the NFL Network means it's not important. I mean, if there's one overarching thing we have learned about Brian Gutekunst, it's not his willingness to move around the draft board. It's not that he has a preference for big school guys, because we kind of thought that for a while, right? I mean, it felt like they only drafted guys from Georgia for a little while there, but they take Tucker Kraft, who was at South Dakota State, which is 1AA or FCS. They take Christian Watson the year before from North Dakota State. So what to me is the hell in Brian Gutekunst's draft philosophy is RAS, relative athletic score. He is, he doesn't take guys that don't score very high on that. And Tausch's favorite player in this draft, the guy that he wants the Packers to take, his draft crush, is Chop Robinson, the edge rusher from Penn State, who I think had a 9.82 RAS score, which is very high for an edge rusher. So that, if you're a Packers fan and you're looking for clues as to whether a guy is a candidate or not a candidate for the Packers to pick him, that is a definite tell in Goody's philosophy.
And we just found out that Isaac Guerendo, former Badger, has the highest RAS of any running back in like the last 10 years. He's now at Louisville, but he had
great example.
The fastest 40, the highest vertical leap, in the entire, not just the entire running back class, like he was like third highest like vertical leap overall or something. I mean, and that's a guy who was on the Badgers and none of us even noticed he was on the Badgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look again. That leads me. He's also a big dude too.
Yeah,
he's not a small guy.
Yep. High. I mean, they said for someone over 220 pounds, he had the fastest 40 and highest vertical leap that has ever been seen there.
Yeah. So if again, we don't know what the future holds for an A.J. Dillon, who's a free agent, but Isaac Guerendo, he could be. I guess he could maybe be a day 2 guy, but I think going into the scouting combine, at least, he was viewed as probably a day 3 guy, right? Which is where a lot of teams now get their running backs, 4th, 5th round. We know Aaron Jones was a 5th round pick. Goody said at the scouting combine earlier last week that he wants that kind of 1-2 punch of a shifty, twitchy, sudden, maybe smaller running back with pairing him with kind of a bigger guy that can get yards on short yardage plays. And Guerendo, with that combination of his size and the other measurables, maybe he ends up being a Packer on day 3 of the draft. It'll be interesting to see.
All right. Well, you just said the name we needed to get to as the most urgent and important information that we are hearing is Aaron Jones. Is he getting cut? What's going on? I mean, we thought it all seemed like love and it all seemed positive coming off of the season. And you had said like they were more definitive about Aaron Jones than just about anyone. And now
anyone I'd ever heard.
Right. I mean, I didn't want to mischaracterize, but that is what you said, right? Like the most definitive. And now from what Drew Rosenhaus is saying, there's a belief that Aaron Jones may be cut. What's going on here?
Yeah. To me, this is very surprising, and I think Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported this first, that they had talked, and I don't know of a time where, I think I said this to you first on this show, general managers never want to paint themselves into a corner. They never want to say things definitively, right? And so if you look at, say, the David Bakhtiari situation right now, like we all know he's getting cut. You can't carry him with the uncertainty of his availability with a $40 million cap number. And when you can get $21 million in cap space created by cutting him. And yet Goody is not going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to, we thank David for his service, but we're ready to move on. Instead, he's waiting until closer to that deadline of they owe him a fairly large roster bonus on the 15th of March. And so the fact that Goody talked the way he did about Aaron Jones and used the word absolutely when asked if he'd be back, that and saying no, that they would not trade Jair Alexander, those were two really surprising things that he was very definitive about. So, look, I still think Aaron Jones ends up as a Packer. He has 3 voidable years left on the contract, but 1 real year, 2024 on it. But they have to figure out a way to keep him while not having him count $17 million against the cap. And I think Aaron Jones is the epitome of not only the player that you want on your team and not only the teammate and leader you want, but on top of that, he's a really smart business guy when it comes to his situation. I don't think he's worth $17 million to anybody, including the Packers, who dearly love him. But last year, he took a pay cut from 16 to 11, and he chose to stay in Green Bay where he knew how people felt about him. He knew the offense. He knew his role. He knew he could be productive. Dalvin Cook had almost the same situation with the Vikings, and the Vikings offered him $10 million to stay on a pay cut, and he said, no thanks, I'm going to go do better somewhere else. But he didn't, right? He went to the Jets, then he got cut by them. Then he went to Baltimore, didn't really have a role there. So this is kind of a delicate balance and kind of a dance to figure out, okay, the player wants to stay, the team wants to keep him. How do you figure out a way to compensate him properly and have him stay on the roster? Because both sides want that. And look, they did it with Preston Smith, right? He took about a $2-3 million pay cut, which he can then earn back in incentives based on sacks. I would think that these sides will end up eventually reaching an agreement, but at this point, you cannot rule out the possibility that despite what Goody said after the season, that maybe, just maybe, he ends up getting cut and they put themselves in a position where then they have to figure out what are they going to do at running back.
I mean, based on what he said and how definitive it was, is there a chance that they're saying, hey, we'd love you to take a pay cut? And if he says no, they're just like, okay, then we'll pay you what, then we will go with this current deal.
I don't think so. Like, again...
So it's not asking you to take a pay cut then when you're saying it is...
Right.
Either we're going to figure out something different or this could go down that road that ends up in Aaron Jones being cut.
It could, but again, I would... And I don't know. I don't know what Drew Rosenhaus knows. One of the things about the scouting combine, even though so many coaches have begged out of it now, it is the epicenter of the NFL world. And so there are all the agents descend on Indianapolis. They have their annual meeting. The agents do in the same building as the scouting combine is going on in the Indiana Convention Center. I spent many a day standing outside those doors waiting for the meetings to have their breaks so I could get to Bus Cook or Tausch's agents or whoever it might be. And that is where these conversations take place. And so I would assume that Drew Rosenhaus has worked on talking to other GMs around the league saying, hey, look, the Packers said they absolutely want my guy back, but if they're going to try and get him to take a significant pay cut, we want to test the market and see what else might be out there instead, no matter how much he loves the Packers to the degree that he put the Packers G on his knee in a tattoo. So I would assume that Drew Rosenhaus, having done this for as long as he has gauged the interest of other possible teams. So he knows, okay, this is what I can extract from the Packers.
Yeah, but doesn't this feel like
It feels like games.
It doesn't feel like both sides kind of know their most value is with each other.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. That's why I think it's worth us talking about, and that's obviously why we have, and I didn't completely poo-poo it. I think ultimately this is kind of the dance that they're having to go through until they both reach a point where they agree. And I do not believe that Aaron Jones will play for the Packers this season with a $17 million cap number. I do believe that Aaron Jones will play for the Green Bay Packers this year, and we'll have to wait and see just what that looks like.
But it is interesting, right, that you said it. Not only did he get a $5 million pay cut, but he converted stuff. So, he saved them last year $12 million on the cap, and looks like they're basically trying to do the same thing, even though all we hear about is the cap keeps going up, and then all these guys still need to save stuff on the cap. So does that mean A.J. Dillon's definitely gone?
I don't think so. So here's the thing about A.J. Dillon. And again, I don't know what his agent has heard in Indianapolis this week, but I don't know what his market is. Like if you're another team and you watched him, because look, let's be honest, Aaron Jones missed a bunch of time this year. A.J. Dillon had ample opportunity to really show, hey, I can be a number one back in this league. And I think we can both agree that he did not do that. And so what is his market? Like after 4 years, if you're the Tennessee Titans, because you're going to let Derrick Henry walk, perhaps, what are you willing to pay A.J. Dillon to try and give him the opportunity to be your number one back? Like, I don't know. And so I think I don't think it's anywhere close to being out of the realm of possibility that he goes out to the open market and he finds tepid interest and he says, you know what, maybe I'm better off going back to the Packers on a 1-year prove-it deal. And then if I deliver, let's say Aaron Jones has more injury issues. He's going to be 31 years old, I think. If I go back there and I ball out, which I didn't do in 2023, then I could really do something much better on the free agent market a year from now than I could right this very moment. So I wouldn't rule it out completely, but I do think it's probably more unlikely than likely that he's back.
Chatting with Jason Wilde, who did just say ball out, and we will continue with him as we have David Bakhtiari's deadline, it seems, coming up, and a whole lot more as we roll on. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The Saganiac Planning Fantastic Finish, November 27th, 2006. Marquette at Valparaiso. It was tied with 13 seconds left when Tom Crean called timeout. He called two plays, both to get the ball to Dominic James, because Dominic James had scored the last 15 points for Marquette. James got a high screen, and with 3 seconds left, buried a three-point shot at the top of the key to finish with the last 18 points for Marquette and a 65-62 win. Oh, baby, what a fantastic finish.
Help protect your team with slam dunk coverage. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to save money on medical and specialty plans through United Healthcare, which is one of the largest provider networks in Wisconsin. Call John Saganiac Jr. 262-783-6161. That's John Jr. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services Inc. or its affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin Inc.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Bruston Nortman, and I got to tell you about one of my new favorite ways to watch games with the Underdog Fantasy Sports app. A pick'em fantasy game where you can win real money. It's easy to find in your app store and even easier to use. Here's how it works. Pick 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams, then select higher or lower on those players' stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Yeah, it is that easy. Especially with the hoop season hitting high gear, you know I'm watching every game with the Underdog Fantasy app. So right now, head to their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up using promo code KBN. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. That's promo code KBN. Join me and get the Underdog Fantasy app so that you can enhance your game-watching experience just like me. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system. Symptoms vary from person to person, as MS does not discriminate, and anyone can be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. With one of the largest MS incident rates in the country, Wisconsin is a league leader in the number of people living with MS. The National MS Society funds cutting-edge research, drives change through advocacy, and provides programs and services to help people affected by MS to live their best lives. Connect with nationalmssociety.org to learn more, get involved, and to show much love to people living with MS.
0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. I'm Gina Della from Pella. Pella's free in-home consultations make replacing or redesigning your windows and doors easy. We go beyond just measuring and handing you a quote. We take the time to listen and educate you on all your product options. And with DesignWorks, you can see what your home will look like before you buy. Whether you're looking to replace your windows due to damage or it's time for a refresh and you'd like to revitalize your home style, choosing from Pella's wide range of windows and doors will complement your home's unique design. Pella can also customize, providing nearly endless possibilities for maximum design flexibility with dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Order by March 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Set your free consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Join the Milwaukee Bucks on March 4th as we celebrate the rich Hispanic and Latino cultures in our community during Noche Latina, presented by the Froedtert and Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. The first 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Somos Los Bucks belt bag. Come watch some amazing Bucks basketball while you celebrate Hispanic and Latino cultures. For more details and to purchase tickets, visit bucks.com/impact.
Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com. It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
And you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go.
Continuing with Jason Wilde, and Jason, Max and I were stunned that Jordan Love didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. Like, because we were watching it and like, they were like Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith were in the Pro Bowl. So those guys end up backfilling the original Pro Bowl selections. Do we know if Jordan Love was asked to be in the Pro Bowl and just said no, or did those guys get asked beforehand?
He wasn't even an alternate. And I think, and look, I think we can all agree that he was magnificent in the second half of the season. But they play 17 games, and his first 8 or 9 were not very good. He struggled, and we've all kind of forgotten that because he was so great. And that's fine that we've forgotten that because he deserves a ton of credit, and you should be very excited if you're a Packers fan that he is going to parlay how he finished the season by playing at that level much more consistently through a 17-game schedule. But bottom line is, we went into the trade deadline when they traded Rasul Douglas, essentially with Brian Gutekunst admitting that he was hoping was the word he used. I hope not that it would take into the 2024 season to know if he was the guy. And the fact that we are now not at that point anymore speaks to just how darn good he was in the second half, but it doesn't eliminate that. So for things like the Pro Bowl, his final numbers, his numbers over those 9 games going into San Francisco, including the playoff game, when he had a 157.2 passer rating against the Cowboys, his passer rating was 116 over that 9-game stretch. He threw 21 touchdowns against 1 interception, but he was not great in the first half of the season.
And is that
early December?
I was going to say, does that speak to the Pro Bowl kind of like unintentionally just rewarding early season success and not, down the stretch? Because I look at it here, and I'm a QBR guy over passer rating, but in QBR in the NFC, Brock Purdy 1, Dak Prescott 2, Kirk Cousins only played 8 games, so let's eliminate him. Matt Stafford 3. Those were the 3 Pro Bowlers, and then Jordan Love was number 4. So he was 4th after the 3 guys who were elected. Now you go to just traditional passer rating, and you have Brock Purdy 1, Dak Prescott 2, number 3 Jared Goff, number 4 Derek Carr, and number 5 Jordan Love. So either way, he seems like he should have been in the mix. All right, so from that, let's go to Bakhtiari. So it's basically the next week or so where he needs to get cut. Is that what happens before the new league year starts on March 13th? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah. So the way his contract is structured, and I would say this: they open the, I don't know what you want to call it, the legal tampering window or the negotiation period for free agency. That opens on the 11th. So I would say that before the 11th is probably the target date, because you want to know exactly what you've got to work with from a cap perspective. Again, I don't believe for a second that Goody hasn't decided to cut him. I just don't. I know he said that he wanted to make his decision when he had to make it, but I'm sorry, he's made the decision, I personally think, and it is to move on from him. So when do they do it? They have to do it by March 15th, because that's when his roster bonus is due. So you've got the negotiation window on the 11th, which is, Monday, a week from Monday. You've got the league year officially opening on the 13th, which is when you have to be cap compliant, which they already are. They're already below the cap because it's so high. And then you've got the 15th when his roster bonus is due. I would think somewhere around the 8th, 9th, or 10th is when they officially decide to move on from him. I would be surprised if it goes any farther beyond that.
All right, well, I'll make the segue that doesn't make a ton of sense, but from the one team that David Bakhtiari played against this year, which is the Chicago Bears, they seem to hold the keys to this draft. And if as you sit and watch back, to me it seems like they're going to pick Caleb Williams. What do you think the Chicago Bears should do?
And we've got really great teammates in Chicago at ESPN 1000, and I think in talking with them, with Waddle and Sylvie and Carmen and Yurko and all those guys down there, they all say the same thing. Justin Fields is everything you want in a franchise quarterback in terms of his leadership, in terms of the kind of teammate he is. He's an outstanding athlete. They say all these things, and then, they'll admit, but you don't know if he's ever going to be a truly consistent thrower of the football, right? And to me, it's great that he has all those other qualities, but if you never are going to be 100% sure that he's going to be a good thrower, then he can't be the guy. And so I don't think you pass up Caleb Williams, given the virtual universal opinion that he is if not a generational talent, at least like a once in every 10 or 15 years talent. And so I definitely think that they end up taking Caleb Williams. I would be surprised if they stayed with Justin Fields, because the worst thing that GMs, you're going to be second guessed no matter what, right? And maybe you don't have to worry about it if Justin Fields is traded and never succeeds. But you're going to be second-guessed if he goes somewhere else and turns out to be really good, but you're really going to be second-guessed if Caleb Williams turns out to be the next Mahomes-type player and you chose instead to stay with Justin Fields and he just turned out to be okay at his best. So I expect them to take Caleb Williams, and I expect them to trade Justin Fields. But I have not talked to Ryan Poles, so I don't know that for certain.
Yeah, I was just looking at the most accurate passers in the NFL on the deep ball, which is 20 yards or more in 2023. So those were Jake Browning, number 1 at 70.4%, Dak Prescott, 69.5%, Kirk Cousins, 69.5%, Brock Purdy, 69.4%, and Tua at 69.3%. Justin Fields was not in the top 20. He was at 60%. Jordan Love came in at 64.2%. Patrick Mahomes was 67.2%. Lamar Jackson was 67.2%. So Fields definitely was at the bottom. Like Dobbs was 62.8, Gardner Minshew 62.2, Aiden O'Connell 62.1. So he's beyond those guys. So the difference between, I guess, 70 and 60 seems like a pretty big deal when it comes to the deep ball and ability to throw it in the NFL. So when you look at what the Packers have coming up, what is the biggest non-Aaron Jones, non-David Bakhtiari pre-NFL draft story, or will there be another one? I mean, where is there a big free agent? Like, is the story going to be that the Packers make a big splash in free agency this year?
It very well could be, because I think the one position where we know they are looking and seriously looking, and Brian Gutekunst made it very clear in Indy that it doesn't have to be a veteran, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Jeff Hafley and Matt LaFleur and Goody would all like, is safety. And so are they going to make a play for a free agent veteran safety, a guy that you're going to have to pay good money to for him to be the guy? To me, that's the biggest question. Or are they going to be content to try and do what they did on the offensive side of the ball and do it on the defensive side of the ball, which is get a bunch of young guys that are all going to grow together in Jeff Hafley's system and have success that way? I think that is a distinct possibility. I think they feel really good about how things worked out for them offensively, and they would love to try and do that again on the other side of the ball. And if they can, great. But if they are going to make a splash in free agency, which, you know, they did in Goody's first year of free agency and not at any point since, I would say that it's probably going to be at that safety position.
Wait, in that first year, that was the Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith year?
That is exactly what it was.
Wow.
Adrian Amos, Billy Turner. Yep. 4 of them.
I mean, and that was a splash for the Packers, but like for other teams, would that have even been a splash? Like that doesn't feel like
no.
Like none of those guys were like top 5 like free agents that year, were they?
Like Zadarius Smith was the quintessential guy that they were looking for, which is a guy who's coming off of his rookie contract, has not realized his potential, but is a pretty intriguing player who they think is up on the upswing. And I personally think that was that's always what they're going to look for, is that type of player who is going to get paid, but isn't going to get paid like astronomical numbers because he doesn't have as much proven success. That's kind of the vibe I get from them. And so I don't know if there's a guy right now at safety that fits the Zadarius Smith mold.
But so does that mean that Jordan Love's contract, that's not going to be the big story? Jordan Love, that won't happen now?
Yeah, it can't happen until after May 3rd.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think Alex Strofe asked me this, and from what I understand, they can talk all they want. Like they can have everything in place so that all they're waiting for is for him to sign on the dotted line on May 4th. So that's possible, but they can't. There won't be any sort of announcement. That's for sure. So, I think how that factors into the free agency is they have a fairly decent idea where they think this contract's going to land. I'm guessing Russ Ball even has all right, well, if we can't get them to come closer to our number, what are we going to max out at if we're going to have to pay him what they're asking instead of what we want? I think he probably has a pretty good idea what that number is too. So that allows you to go into free agency saying, okay, this is what Jordan Love's range is going to be when we do that contract. This is what we've got to work with. This is what we've got to restructure, create more cap space. I think Goody was very clear. They have the wherewithal. They have the money. They have the salary cap space. They have the flexibility to sign someone significant in free agency if they decide to do it and if they're the highest bidder. So the question is there a player that fits that mold that is worth it to them to do that? If there is, they're going to go after him. And if there isn't, then they're going to save that cap space and try and do on the defensive side of the ball what they did on the offensive side of the ball this year.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch every day from 9 until noon, Monday through Friday, and hear all of what Jason and Tausch have to say. Jason, thanks so much.
All right, Craig, good to catch up with you. Take care. Be good.
Excellent work from Jason Wilde. As always, we have our Palermo's picks, which include a 10-part NFL documentary. That's next. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Q Club of Wisconsin is your hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
We have so much going on. We're the place to be for basketball season with TVs everywhere. Book a party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Sign up for summer bocce leagues now before they fill up. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices reminds you that it's better to work with someone who's done it many, many times. If you're going through something for the first time, you have so many things to worry about. You may have, damage to a vehicle. You may have injury concerns for family members or for yourself. And when that happens, the best thing to do is to have someone who's been there before. And that's why Gruber Law Offices is such a valued partner to so many people going through things that they've never gone through before. So if you're ever injured, do what tens of thousands of Wisconsinites have done, which is to make that one call. And one call, that's all, means that Gruber Law Offices takes it from there. That's why if I ever am asked who someone should go to when they've been involved or a loved one's been injured, it's easy. One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices.
Make it a real Mad March with a playoff payout at Potawatomi. Every week, you could score your share of $100,000 in cash and free play. Play this March for drawing entries. Win each Thursday. Plus, the prizes refresh every week for even more winners. The playoff payout at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. It's anyone's game. For more details, visit paysbig.com/payout. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I made recently was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. They're a local business that's been around for 2 decades, based right in Appleton and Waukesha. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and include a true lifetime warranty. Even firefighters all across the country trust Good Health Saunas for sweating smoke out of their skin after fighting fire. Learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com. That's goodhealthsaunas.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin, presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh, Palermo's Picks brought to us by Palermo's, and it was with family yesterday, and the Palermo's Primo Thin came out. And could you get a better pizza? I think you grab them for $5 at Pick and Save, and it is 340 calories per serving with the thin pizza. When you're not feeling that, there's always the pizza for your interest. The Screamin' Sicilian, is generally our favorite. Sometimes we go with that Surfer Boy from Netflix Stranger Things. But the beauty of Wisconsin's hometown pizza is you're always supporting a Wisconsin brand. They're employing hundreds of people in Wisconsin. They're giving back, and the Feluca family's so philanthropic within the state of Wisconsin. So you feel good because you're eating pizza, which is the best, and you feel good because you're supporting Wisconsin. So remember, if you're eating pizza, do it at home and do it with Wisconsin's hometown pizza, Palermo's Pizza. All right, here is your pick of the week, which is something I started to talk about a few weeks ago, which is the New England Patriots documentary, which I know not everybody can watch their Ted Lasso and their morning show on Apple TV Plus. I know there's like 8,000 different subscriptions and all sorts of things these days, so it's hard to find shows. But by the way, Max, do you have Apple TV Plus?
I do not.
Yeah, see, so have you never watched Ted Lasso?
You know what? I have, but I just don't have it myself. I've watched it at a friend.
Okay, I didn't know if it's also you grab it for a month. So one thing you can do, so Apple TV Plus is $10 a month. You do have a 7-day free. Then it's $10 a month. Only 6 of the 10 episodes are out. So if you're going to try to work the whole 7-day free move, you wouldn't do it now. Not that I'm saying you should, because I think there is a lot of good stuff on it. But it is called The Dynasty New England Patriots. And it takes you from Drew Bledsoe and Bill Parcells all the way through. But, I mean, Spygate, Aaron Hernandez, there's so much. I mean, the fact that Tom Brady actually got hurt in his first AFC championship, and Drew Bledsoe, who had been benched, came back in, and then there was a quarterback controversy leading into the Super Bowl of who was going to start, Drew Bledsoe or Tom Brady, and most people were saying Bledsoe should start because he had won the AFC championship, and he was the $100 million quarterback instead of this unknown Tom Brady. Or the fact that Matt Castle came in a year for Tom Brady and won 11 games, and all of a sudden people were saying Tom Brady may just be a system quarterback, that Bill Belichick could take just about any quarterback and win games. We are only about 6 episodes in to the Dynasty New England Patriots, but it is definitely such a welcome addition to the NFL offseason. If you can't get enough football, this is a great, great viewing experience. Episodes are less than an hour generally, and 6 of the 10 available now on Apple TV Plus. That is The Dynasty New England Patriots. And when I was watching it, the one thing that jumped out to me, because I know Aaron Rodgers has to be watching this, was Tom Brady had a year kind of like what Aaron had this past year. I mean, it was the first quarter of the first game of the season when Tom Brady had that hit below the knee that they ended up pretty much changing the NFL rules as a result of. But, I mean, Aaron has to be watching this thinking, hey, I know I'm 10 years older than Brady was at the time, but it was after that injury that Brady really started thinking about his body in a different way and thinking about how he could be that much more flexible so that he could play potentially into his 40s. I believe the quote in the movie was, I don't know if I'm going to play until I'm 80, but I'm going to be focused on playing for a real long time. And as Aaron Rodgers watched that docuseries, all I could think about is, we've had those discussions about where he fits in the MVP race, and I'm not saying he's at the top of the MVP race, and I know that division is tough with the Bills and with the Dolphins, but maybe a little less hype Maybe a little more help that they'll find at the tight end position, which I think people are thinking in the draft. They could go tight end. I'm thinking there's going to be a really interesting year, that Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy, and this is going to be a big bounce-back year for the Jets, which is just going to be – and I don't know if the Jets are going to win a lot of games, but they have a really good defense, and if Aaron's playing well, I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, this could be a really, really interesting year. That was my thought as I watched the Dynasty New England Patriots. That is your Palermo's pick, available on Apple Plus. Big thanks to Max Meyerson joining us today. In for Kyle, for Jason Wilde, and everyone else. Remember, stay healthy, stay together, survive today, thrive tomorrow, don't settle. You have been listening to Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Peace.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client